Hello everyone, this is your host Suraj Savant and you are watching Motor World India. So today we are in Pune to ride a very special bike. Something that's made like a gun. Something that's available in two different variants. Apparently a café racer and a scrambler. Well, no, I'm not talking about the Enfield twins, but today we're talking about the Husqvarna twins, the Vitpilen and the Svartpilen. So before we dive into these beautiful, amazing looking motorcycles, let me tell you something about the brand Husqvarna. Husqvarna was basically started in 1689, that's around 300 years ago. Then they started as a rifle manufacturer. They used to make muskets for the Swedish army. And this all happened in the town of Husqvarna, and that's where the brand gets its name from. In 1903, they finally started making motorcycles, exactly the year when Harley started its journey. And since then, Husqvarna has made a name for itself in terms of dirt bikes and off-roading bikes. In 1983, it got sold to the Kajiva Group, after which BMW Group acquired it. And in 2013, KTM Austria finally took control of the Husqvarna brand. And since then, the attempt has been to bring more modern, stylish and accessible motorcycles. The Husqvarna logo basically resembles the side of a gun. Enough of history lesson. Now let's dive into the motorcycles, shall we? Basically, both the Husqvarna twins are based on the KTM Duke platform. They use the same trellis frame from the Duke 250 and are powered by the same engine, which produces 30 PS of power and 24 Nm of torque. Though the second half of the trellis frame is completely new and newly manufactured only for the Huskies. If you compare, it looks really short from the end. Even though this produces the same 30 PS of power and 24 Nm of torque, the ride experience is supposedly completely different. The Dominar 250 also uses the same engine, but what it offers is something completely different from what the Huskies offer. The power delivery here is completely loaded on the top end section, delivering a great top end power, while the Dominar and KTMs are really aggressive in the lower and mid rev range. So we have already ridden the KTMs and the Dominar 250. So we know what kind of performance and reliability is the engine going to offer. So let's dive into the design aspect of the Husqvarnas, which actually separate them from the KTMs and the Bajaj Dominar 250. So first, let's start with introducing both the motorcycles and how they're different. So let's talk about the Vitpilen first. Vitpilen basically means white arrow. I know that this does not look white in any way, but that's the literal English translation of Vitpilen. The Vitpilen is basically based on the cafe racer concept and gets these clip-on handlebars. The riding position is really aggressive. You can compare the riding stance to a RC basically. It gets a single long seat and a sleek exhaust design. Since the Vitpilen is a cafe racer, it gets these road biased tires. It comes loaded with a 150 section rear tire and a 110 section front tire. Both these tires are MRF Rev Z type tires and come in soft compound that provides great traction and control no matter what road you ride. Another factor that differentiates the Vitpilen from the Svartpilen are the mag wheels. Basically, the Vitpilen gets 5-spoked mag wheels, which are not just lighter in weight but also stronger. They are around 970 grams lighter than the KTM Duke mag wheels, but they are also 18% stronger. On the Svartpilen, all the way, it gets a 8-spoked mag wheel, which is basically for better strength. It is around 330 grams lighter than the KTM wheels, but they are again 18% stronger than those rims were actually. Another differentiating factor is the seat stitching. The Vitpilen gets a stitching done in a green shade, while the Svartpilen gets a yellow shade for it. Speaking about the Svartpilen, this is basically based on a scrambler concept. It gets this raised handlebars, gets this split type seat, gets 8-spoked mag wheels and a differentiating matte black color. Svartpilen basically means the black arrow. At least this time they've got the color right? Another sweet addition that the Svartpilen gets is this sweet luggage rack right on top of the tank. Also, the tires on this are different. Even though they're the same size as the Vitpilen in 150 section rear and a 110 section front, these are MRF Rev Z D type tires, which are basically dual purpose tires. Basically, Husqvarna wants to present the Svartpilen as a capable soft roader motorcycle. Also, the Svartpilen gets this sleek exhaust cover which was missing from the Vitpilen. Another factor that differentiates the Svartpilen and the Vitpilen is the coloring on the radiator. The Swart gets this neon green highlight, while the Vitpilen gets this white tint to the radiator. Sitting onto this 43mm forks is the sweet looking headlamp. This LED DRL setup basically comes in the circular shape and looks really amazing, giving it that neo retro look. So as we move ahead, we have this sweet looking instrument cluster in a circular shape. It's newly designed and matches with the overall retro theme of the bike. It gives you basic information like 2 trip meters, 1 odometer, a fuel gauge, a heating meter, a digital clock, and a button to switch off your rear ABS, which the Husqvarna calls the Supermoto mode. The switchgear is directly carried forward from the KTM Twins and is of good build quality. As we move ahead, you get the key slot right on the tank, and there also sits this aircraft inspired fuel tank lid in rose gold color. The overall design theory for the Husqvarna is minimalistic. As you can see, there are only 2 panels, body panels for this bike. One that extends right from the tank to the tail, and secondly being the tail section. Overall, the bike looks kick-ass and stunning and will definitely be a head turner everywhere you go. Another unique factor about the Husky Twins is the tail section. The tail section is sleek and clean. It gets a tail tidy in stock with those 2 indicator lamps and tail lamps sitting there, overall adding to that classic look. Usually we bikers get our bikes and try to make a tail tidy to make it look cool. With the Huskies here, you don't really gotta do that, of course. I really love the way Husqvarna has paid attention to detail. The newly designed indicators match the overall design concept of the Husqvarna. I really loved that they're not carried forward from the KTMs and Dominas, which are LED based, but look really different. The rear number plate now comes fitted on the swing arm, on a hugger type setup basically. Well, to get this sweet, beautiful looking tail section, Husqvarna had to shift the number plate from the tail section to their swing arm, and now comes fitted on a hugger fitted there. Husqvarna had to reduce the rear suspension travel by 4 mm, which is now 157 mm only, just to accommodate that number plate on the hugger there. Braking responsibilities on the rear is managed by a 237 mm disc brake, coupled with a Biber single pot caliper piston. It also gets this grunty looking, sleek looking exhaust system which sits there, adding to that overall look of the Huskies. Both the Huskies get this practical but stylish bash plate made out of metal, making it more reliable and sturdy no matter what road you go. Both the Vitpilen and the Svartpilen come with a ground clearance of 145 mm, which is enough to go through all that high speed breakers and off-roads. The Huskies also get this stylish grab rail which doubles up as a backrest for your pillions, and it nicely amalgamates in the overall design of the Huskies. Both the Vitpilen and the Svartpilen get their seats lock in the front here. While as for the Svartpilen, the seat operation is very easy. I can't say the same about the Vitpilen. Opening the seat on the Vitpilen is quite difficult. Now that was one tough task. We know now how different are the Vitpilen and the Svartpilen now. Let's go find out how that spec sheet we just went through actually translates into. How does the ride that they deliver? The 250cc mill on the Huskies delivers the best top-end power. The liquid-cooled engine delivers power on demand, and with the engine cutoff being set at 11,000 rpm, you can just keeping this engine further and further. such that you can easily hit a top speed of 150 kmph. The engine gets wild and vibey post 6000 rpm, where it delivers all that 30 horses with all its might. But while riding in city and in low gears, you might have to shift your gears frequently as there's not much torque available there. The Huskies deliver a mileage of 30 to 32 kmpl, but I don't really think that fuel mileage is something Husky buyers would really consider. With a fuel tank capacity of 9.5 liters, it promises a range of 170 to 200 kilometers easily, which should be enough for the market it promises to cater to. The mirrors look stylish enough and amalgamate with the overall retro theme, but are inefficient in providing a wide view of what's actually happening behind. So the bike's powerful, ferocious enough to fuel your thirst for adrenaline. It looks equally stunning and charming with its design and body panels, and also delivers a confident and inspiring ride. The suspensions, being set stiff, don't really get the bike out of control no matter how bad the roads are. The MRF tires perform excellently well, much better than they actually did on the Dominas though. I guess that has to do with the lightweightedness of the Husqvarnas. The Husqvarnas have the best power to weight ratio in the segment, with the lightweightedness of just being around 155 to 153 kgs. The 320mm front brakes and the 230mm rear brake, coupled with dual channel ABS, deliver great bite and braking performance. Though it's not as great as the Duke 390s of course. But then again, you can always upgrade to center pads and get a similar kind of braking response. The round mirrors, the stylish DRL headlamp, the indicators and the retro style tail lamp section, and the unique body styling is something very smart and different for Bajaj KTM to offer the same platform to an all-new segment of buyers. That segment that is stuck to the classic retro style theme, entering Enfield side of the grass with grace and ease. There's Husqvarna branding everywhere you see on the bike, be it the mag wheel, the mudguard, the seats, the handlebar, the fuel tank cap, even the rear mudguard. Husqvarna has very smartly branded itself all throughout the Huskies. Which Husky choose from the both is a choice only you will have to make. With the seat height of 840 to 842 mm, the Huskies seem to be very high. But the seat is long and narrow, allowing people with heights as low as 5 feet 5 inches easily to ride the Svartpilen, while the Vitpilen demands a little more height due to its aggressive sitting position. The Svartpilen is laid back, while the Vit is very aggressive in terms of the rider's triangle. I wouldn't really prefer having a pillion on any of these motorcycles, though Neo Cafe racers are preferred to be ridden solo. In terms of competition, there's no other brand that delivers this styling and ride experience the Husky Twins can. Go ride one in an KTM showroom today and feel for it yourself. Both the Huskies are available at a price tag of 1,85,000, which is more than 20,000 rupees less than the Duke 50. That surely makes the Husqvarnas a steal deal, guys. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you for watching Motor World India. This is your host Suraj Sawant signing off. Bye bye, good day.